calling in partnership, calling in connection, anything really, often triggers this sense of lack. I don't have it. I don't have this thing that I want to create. And those of us who are more anxiously attached or come from a background of developmental trauma and neglect, it's so hard to focus on anything beyond just that like desperation and lack that feels like the whole of reality, especially in relationships around integrity, staying in yourself, being true to your boundaries, not abandoning yourself to get love, get validation from someone else. It can be so hard to stay in yourself, stay in your integrity when there is this taste of like, they can give me that thing that I want so badly: love, to be seen, to belong, validation. And interpersonally, there are needs that we cannot meet in ourselves. I'm not saying just meet those needs for yourself and don't need that from other people. We do. We do need connection from other people. We need to be seen and reflected and mirrored by other people. But when you have the sense that there is a boundary for you and you're crossing it and you are giving up part of yourself to get something from someone else, it creates a lot of suffering and lack of self-trust and this desperation and seeking and grasping, and that doesn't feel good. How do you stay in yourself in this place of lack, thirst, hunger, longing, desperation, and magnetize the love that you want? There are so many pieces of how to successfully get through that process. And a big one is staying in your own energy through the discomfort, doing trauma work, of course, but just being accepting that a big part of healing this wound is feeling like you're on fire, seeing something you want. Maybe there's a situationship that you keep returning to. Maybe it's just constantly dating or fantasy or whatever it is that pulls your energy outside of yourself. Bringing it back, turning it into contemplation, turning it into presence, parts work, and feeling so uncomfortable in that part that feels like I don't have what I need right now, and bringing inquiry, bringing stillness, bringing reflection and presence to that experience of lack. Eventually, you get to a place where the burning subsides enough that you can stay present with the longing, you can stay present with the fire and let it burn. Let it ache. Be with it instead of reacting and chasing or forcing or grasping onto something else. And it is not a path for the faint of heart. It's the heroine's journey. It's a feminine underworld dark night of the soul to heal this wound of wanting to be claimed, chosen, validated, seen, loved, cared for, contained. This is the feminine wound. And that can exist outside of gender. You can be a man or a woman experiencing this wound. But essentially, how can you stay? How can you stay in yourself? Giving yourself grace that it's not going to be perfect. There are going to be moments where you self abandon and grasp onto something and want something from someone else. And there are going to be moments where you doubt everything. There are going to be some moments that feel so desperate that you can't stay. And that's okay. That's part of trauma work. That's part of integration. That's part of expansion. And it's coming back when you have the resource, coming back and increasing your capacity to be present with your experience, to be loving with yourself, to be anchored in something bigger than just you and your wants and your desires, and coming to a place of enough self love and presence and resource and integrity that you really do trust, regardless of what you feel and where you are in life, that you can create and magnetize and draw in the experiences that you want to have, staying with that desire, letting it burn, letting life take you where it wants you to go on the spiritual healing expansion path. Desire burns and it never ends, and we would never want it to. And the work is around creating enough resource and capacity in ourselves that we can stay in that fire and let it move us, let it bring us to our knees, let it light a fire in our lives. Trusting my desire took me to grief, and every longing brought me to my knees in pain over and over for a very long time. And letting that be okay. Letting grief be here. Letting desperation be here. Turning inward and being with those parts in deep presence and acceptance and compassion. That is the work of being human. The only thing that really matters. If you don't know what parts work is, there is a world for you to discover. Most of us have some form of CPTSD, developmental trauma, where our needs weren't met. And it shapes our nervous system. It shapes what we can see in reality. It shapes what we can accept. And you can create change. You can rewire your body. You can deepen in presence and acceptance. And you can change everything.